All right, everyone. All right. I think we're ready to go live. Lois, do you have a some announcements to make?
I do. Sorry, really quickly, I'm just going to pop out of that screen share. I do have some announcements. All right, hi y'all, welcome. Today's Ask a Venue panel is happening and I'm so excited. I'm Lois. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the operations director for the Hollywood Fringe Festival. We are in Zoom, but also live streaming this panel to Facebook. So if you're watching from Facebook, know that Fringe staff, Ellen and Stina, will be monitoring that page. So ask your questions right there in the chat. We are also recording this panel for our YouTube channel, Fringe TV. Please intro yourself in the chat, both here and on Facebook, and tell us where you're joining from and what show you were bringing or might be bringing to HFF 21. Some upcoming Fringe events. Office hours is back. Y'all join us Wednesday, June 2nd, 7 to 9 p.m. And all of our upcoming events happening after that can be found right on our Fringe website homepage. Scholarship mentor apps close tonight. So by 11:59, please get your application in if you want to join us for that awesome program. We won't be talking too much about registration today, but if you are curious to know how this year's Fringe is going to work, please check out Fringe TV. It's our YouTube page and watch Town Hall #1, all about registration. A link is currently being dropped in the chat. All right, y'all, we have a fundraiser happening right now. And Ellen, can you pop in and tell us all about it?
I can, and then I will post all these links in the chat. But for a second, I want to talk about something that's incredibly important to me and to our staff here at the Fringe. Basically, I want to start from the beginning. We are the Hollywood Fringe Festival, a true arts nonprofit that is 10 years old. We don't have a full-time staff, we do not have an office, and we make things work in like a kind of fun way every year, and somehow we make it through and we do it all again the next year. Every spring we do an annual fundraiser, and as we were really thinking about what our community needed, we were looking back to our artists and our venues. And one way that we really thought that we could make sure that this festival was successful was to fundraise for our shows to go on as they normally do. So our artists fund was born. We have decided to fundraise for $750 or $25 stipends, which will include free registration to perform at a Hollywood Fringe venue for the 2021 festival, as well as a $550 stipend towards production costs on top of that. And those will go straight to artists in a lottery fashion. So you're like, whoa, where's that money coming from? It's coming from the fundraiser that we are actually launching right now. So I'm going to launch it in the chat, and what we need is your help to share it and make sure that people know that that money will be going right back to our artists and that we can make sure that this Fringe is as vibrant and exciting as possible. Do you have anything to add there, Lois?
I don't, other than I'm so excited. This is the first time we've tried this, and we really want it to be successful because we want our artists to be successful. All right, should we move this thing forward, y'all? All right, a couple things to note, and I promise eventually I'm going to stop talking and hand this over to venues. A couple of things to note: in the interest of creating an inclusive and accessible space for all participants involved in Fringe, we've started the practice of putting our pronouns along with our Zoom names, and we encourage you to do the same. Information on how to rename yourself is going into the chat right now. If you have accessibility needs that are not currently being met, don't hesitate to reach out to a member of staff, and we will do our best to accommodate. Feel free to also email support@hollywoodfringe.org at any time after the event if you think of something outside of the space or anything ever. Support is your new best Fringe friend. Please keep your camera on when you can. It's great to see your faces. We are all about community, and the part of that is feeling a community even in these digital spaces. That being said, if you have access needs or are uncomfortable, please feel free to do what is right for you. All aspects of the Hollywood Fringe Code of Conduct apply in our virtual spaces. Please see support.hollywoodfringe.org to read all about our policies in detail. Have fun. Y'all, I know we're all learning to virtually Fringe alongside you. Technical issues are bound to happen, so please feel free to DM a member of Fringe staff and we'll help support you through this Zoom experience. Again, it is a supportive space, so feel free to eat, drink tea or a cocktail. I'm not judging, it's a weekend. And get up and move around, do your thing. This is supposed to be fun and educational. All right, participants, Welcome, HFF 21. It's finally here. I would love to know how many first-time participants we have. Can you raise hands either physically or using the little emoji in your Zoom? How many of you have already created an HFF project on the website? Keep your hands up if you've registered those projects. And note, like, it's still early, so no pressure. If you're like, I haven't done either of those things, no problem. You're here now, and that's what matters. I'm also curious, we've been chatting a lot about the possibility of pivoting to a hybrid model. How many people are here and curious about what it will look like in the event we do pivot, because you're kind of waiting on that decision to choose to partake in Fringe or not? And again, totally okay. This year is all about kind of figuring things out in a slower manner than usual. Awesome. All right, y'all, let's get this exciting chat started. I want to quickly address festival format. Like we were just talking about, we might pivot. Hopefully all of you know that at this time we are a live stream festival, which means there has to be at least a live or happening in the moment element to your show. But like I said, there is a chance we'll be able to safely pivot to a hybrid or in-person and live stream audience festival model. With that, a little bit of the timeline to help you plan your journey. You may know on June 15th, we are expecting final guidelines to officially drop in California. And after that date, the county. It won't be until after that final drop of guidelines in LA County that the festival will be able to make an informed and official decision on whether or not to pivot hybrid. But we want to make sure to cover some aspects of what each venue offers in an in-person experience here today, knowing that you want all of the facts to make the decision that's going to work best for you. Know that if you are booked in an official HFF venue, there will be no change to your registration cost in the event that we do pivot to that hybrid model. And that only shows taking place in the Fringe zone will be able to have an in-person audience in the event we make that announcement. All of the venues that are here today and on our website, all within that zone. So you're going to be covered in the event that we pivot and you do want to enjoy the in-person audience experience. You will also not be required to live stream every show or your show at all if we do pivot. That being said, live stream will still be a major player in the festival, and we encourage you to do both. To bring back to current festival model, just so we don't get lost in all the what ifs and excitement. Currently, we are a live stream festival with no indoor in-person audience at Hollywood Fringe Festival. We do have a category for outdoor COVID safe work that works a little differently, and we're not going to chat about that today because we're here to chat with our venues. You can find all of these wonderful venues and more at hollywoodfringe.org/venues. You can search through filters. You can apply directly through the Fringe website. So just know after today, you still have a home base for all things venue. For any and all questions, please reach out to support@hollywoodfringe.org. Seriously, your new best Fringe pal, Dave, is fantastic and will walk you through anything that you have questions about. Our website also has a ton of information about what HFF usually looks like and how things are working this year. So check out what we call our supportal, support.hollywoodfringe.org, and just do a real deep dive and find out what the heck this Hollywood Fringe Festival is all about. Another thing to note for today, during the entire chat, we're not going to chat money. You'll want to have that money conversation with individual venues. We will rock out a Q&A at the end, so please hold on to your questions and we'll get to an audience Q&A at the end of this panel. Also, we have a lot of venues on today, which is so exciting because you're going to get to learn so much from so many venues. So we're going to have to keep answers a little bit, short and maybe not quite as detailed, but know these conversations will continue, and as venues pique your interest, continue those conversations with those individual venues. All right, lastly, and I promise I'm almost done talking, y'all. We are working under guidelines and conditions that continue to change. So be patient with venues as you work out your bookings. Be patient with each other. We're all learning to adapt to make this festival a safe and successful experience for everyone. I really think empathy and flexibility is going to be super important as we all learn to navigate getting back to normal. All right, I'm officially done, y'all. I have had the absolute pleasure of knowing a lot of these wonderful humans for years, some 10 years now, and we get to chat on a regular basis as we navigate the weird waters of producing a Fringe festival during a pandemic. So I can't wait for you to get to know them too. With that, I am going to stop talking. And venues, I would love for you to introduce yourself. Who the heck are you? What's your venue or venues? What are the spaces within those venues that you book for Fringe? Where are you located?
Hmm. Okay, I guess I'm on. Hi, everybody. I'm Monica DiBiasio, and I run the Complex Hollywood. We're located right on Theater Row, 6476 Santa Monica Boulevard. I have 5 theaters there. We use 4 for Fringe, and I also have rehearsal studios. What else do you need to know? Yeah, we booked the 4. We booked the 4 theaters. With streaming, we may only be booking 2, but I am keeping positive that we are going to go hybrid. That's all I got for my intro. Take it away, Heather Lynn.
Thanks. I am Heather Lynn Gonzalez, and I'm with the Broadwater Theater. We're 2 blocks away from Monica at the Complex. We're right next to Santa Monica and Vine. We have 4 spaces generally for Fringe. For this year, as of right now, with live streaming, we have 1 space decked out for live streaming. And then we'll have, if we go into the hybrid, we have the other 3 spaces open up as well. We are also holding out hope that it'll be hybrid and we'll be able to do that. So we are taking wait lists and getting ready to be able to have all of those spaces running. Our spaces vary in size from 99 seat theater to a 21 seat theater. So it's a lot of different spaces. So that's it.
Hey guys. Oh, and Greg is here too. I'm Jen. This is Greg. We run Studio Stage. I'm in the lobby right now. Ta-da! We are at 520 Northwestern, right on the edge of Hollywood and Koreatown. We call ourselves the Fringe of the Fringe. We have, the thing that makes us kind of unique is we have a cyc wall that curves into the stage. So it's a really beautiful space to project anything that you want to project. We have a high def projector, like everyone else, we are ready to jump into hybrid if we can do that. Hooray. And for everything that's streaming, we're actually going to be providing streaming equipment. And today we are testing it out with a show. So if you do want to see our streaming equipment, fingers crossed it'll all work. You can, because we rented it, so we hope it works. You can look on, actually, Greg and I run a theater company as well called Theater Unleashed. And so on the Theater Unleashed Facebook page at 7 p.m., we're going to be streaming a 24-hour show, which means that on Friday, 4 new shows were written, and we rehearsed them all yesterday with an all-vaccinated cast. It was joyful and wonderful and amazing. And then we're performing tonight. So if you do want to see the space and see how the streaming works, hopefully it'll work. You can take a look at that. And I can actually put the event in the chat if anyone wants to look at it, if that's okay with Lois and Ellen. Yes, okay. But yeah, so we're Studio Stage down in almost Koreatown.
Hey everyone, my name is Matthew Quinn. I'm Artistic Director of Theater Asylum and Combined Art Form.
And I'm Berta Rodriguez, and I'm the PR and Operations Manager.
We've been producing for over 20 years and have managed venues and have produced a show at every year of the Hollywood Fringe, starting way back in year 1 in 2010.
And in addition, we are also produce the Hollywood Encore Producers Award, which is the best of the Fringe.
Also this year, I will be back scouting and booking for the New York City Encore Fringe Festival at the Soho Playhouse. So glad to see that is continuing.
And this year, we're only booking 3 spaces.
So depending on how demand goes, and we are also very hopeful about this year, we are going to be booking Stephanie Fury, which is at Melrose and Larchmont, and 2 spaces at Thymele Arts, located on Western and Santa Monica, the California and Kansas room. And again, this may change depending on demand.
And welcome, everyone.
think it's me now. Yeah, you're done? Okay. Hi, I'm Lauren Golston Salazar with the Actors Company. I'm on the western side of the Fringe around Santa Monica and La Brea. And I have 3 theaters. One of them is a 61 to 80 seat proscenium theater with 2 dressing rooms, can hold up about 20 people. A lot of musicals come in there, large casts, that kind of stuff. Let's see. We have a 20-foot projection screen as well as projector. We do run film festivals, so the quality of the sound and the screening is on the level of a film festival. So it's if you have projections, it's a great place for that. We have another space which we call the other space, and that is all movable. Everything around it moves. That means the platforms, the chairs, you can configure it however you want. Each show can come in and do whatever they want, whether it's in the round or thrust or proscenium, whatever you want to do, you can do. And that one holds 56 to 70 seats, depending on how you place them. And then our final one is a little theater, which is a black box, about up to 26 seats. We have a parking lot, so it's easy in and out. You'll always have a parking space there. And then there's ample street parking as well in the area. A lot of restaurants, Jones's, Formosa Cafe, so there's a lot of after show, before show stuff that can be done there as well. And we'll be providing box office booth operators, streaming operators. So we have a crew that's staying with us for this, so they have a lot of experience with Fringe. We've been doing it for the decade as well. And I'm very optimistic about it being live as well. If Fringe decides that it's not going to be live, we'll still offer live shows if it's allowed within theaters. Festival may have a different set of code, but as a theater, if we're allowed to, we will have live shows. Yeah, that's it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Zeke Retman. I'm with the Hudson Theater. We're located on Theater Row on Santa Monica Boulevard in Hollywood. We have 3 theaters. I'm sitting in one right now. This is the Hudson Main Stage. This is one of our 99-seat theaters. Hold on, see if I can do this without. Look at, there it is. Okay. We have 3 theaters, 2 99-seat theaters and a 43-seat theater. Historically, the 43-seat theaters are busiest during Fringe. This year, our 99-seat theaters are more available than they typically are, for obvious reasons. But all 3 certainly are available for Fringe, and we're looking forward to it. That's all I got.
Hello, I'm Caitlin Rucker, and I'm managing the Griff Theater, which is 1308 North Wilton. It's like Wilton and Fountain at the Underground Annex space, which is a wide but small black box. We're 28 seats installed, but can add additional ones given the possibility of going hybrid. We do have a full streaming setup in the space as well. That comes with our package, so we're prepared to offer. And anyway, so yeah, I think that's about it. We provide tech and video, and yeah, we have a 1-camera setup, but we are, depending on demand, looking into a 3-camera setup to be installed in the space as well. And yeah, look forward to playing with everybody.
Hi, I'm Amber Brugel. I'm the managing director of the Zephyr Theater and Lounge on Melrose.
Typically in the past, we've had the lounge theaters in the Hollywood Fringe show for probably about 6 years, I think. And unfortunately, we lost those spaces this last year. But not to worry, we have plenty of spaces instead. We'll be offering the Zephyr Theater, which is 74 seats. It's a 3/4 thrust. We have a large courtyard for patrons to gather on beforehand. We have 2 big dressing rooms, a large storage loading dock, access to the alley. So we're really excited to be offering this in Fringe this year. We also opened a new space. It's called Lounge on Melrose. It's 1 block away. Oh yeah, the Zephyrs it's right on Melrose Boulevard between Gardner and Vista. So right in the middle of the shops and restaurants. And then 1 block away, Lounge on Melrose. We have 4 to 5 studios there that are great for rehearsals or casting for anyone, whether you book with us or not. I think that's about it.
Thank y'all so much. I'm so happy to have everyone here. Let's keep going with questions. So let's chat booking questions, and let's keep this kind of more general. We will get into a lot of live stream detail later, I promise. So how do y'all manage booking your venue? How do you choose which productions work in your space? How people gonna get in touch with you? We'll start with Amber. We're gonna switch things up.
Sorry, these pop-ups keep happening. I'm like, oh, what do I push? So I just put my contact information in the chat, but you can reach out, email, you can call us. We're pretty versatile, but email is probably best because I like to keep everything where I can remember because I talk to a lot of shows. The question was just booking, right? Yes. Okay. So yeah, just reach out to us. We aren't restrictive about what shows come in with us. We definitely have a larger stage, which is good for larger shows, and a lot of storage capacity. So I think that works for larger shows, but we certainly can have smaller shows or solo shows. We have a curtain that runs the width of the stage, so it can kind of close in the back wall a little bit. So really anyone, just reach out.
Hi, yes, so you can reach out through the Fringe site, I'll get it that way, or through info@thegriff, which I'll just put in here in just a moment, or with phone call. So I've kind of had all 3 come in, and I'm kind of welcome to all of that to discuss your production and then schedule a walkthrough of the space. The space is pretty flexible for different kinds of shows because, I mean, it's pretty wide, so it can accommodate larger productions. But it's a rather small house. It's intimate. So, but yeah, reach out all the ways and we'll be in touch and we can discuss how we can accommodate your show.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I just put the email for the Hudson Theater in the chat there too. Yeah, just reach out. We pretty much will respond within a couple of hours to any inquiry. We like to learn about your show as much as possible, see how we can help, see how flexible we can be. We just try to work with you on having the best, producing the best experience for you. But all shows are welcome.
Sorry. Yeah, just through email, through the Fringe site is fine as well. Let us know as much as possible about your show so that we can help you, guide you to what might be the best space within our facility. If you have specific needs, like you're hanging a trapeze or something like that, let us know so that we can see whether or not that is something that we can work with. So just be sure that you tell us any specific unusual details that you have with your shows, but we're more than happy to have anybody come into our space and have a great time.
For Theater Asylum, we also, echoing everyone else, I placed our email address, our phone number to talk directly. You can also apply through the excellent Hollywood Fringe site to connect with us. We enjoy a phone call to learn more about your show, as well as give tours of the space, which will be starting up next week. So we can really kind of get an idea of which space works best for your show.
Guys, so at Studio Stage, there's no limitation on genre of show. Anyone is welcome. We seat 41, but our stage is actually quite large. It's 22 feet wide by 18 feet deep, and then we've got that continuous cyc. I'm actually putting in the chat right now where you can actually take a video tour, and hosted by me. So you can actually see exactly what we've got in the space. We have a decent amount of storage. We have a full kitchen as well. A couple fringes ago, we had someone who did a cooking show. So she actually like made the whole space smell like garlic and onions before she walked in, which was amazing. So you're welcome to use that as well. And to apply or to schedule a tour, you can definitely email us. I will put that in the chat as well. Right now, our website is a little wonky because our hosting company is changing. So we've got a couple pages that we're still fixing and changing them over to the new hosting company. But take a look at the link that I posted because that one is the one specifically for Studio Stage. You can also email us. I'll put our phone number in there as well. And then, of course, you can apply over the Fringe site. But I do encourage you to take the video tour as well. We've actually had quite a few people book just from the video tour, but we're also super happy to book in-person tours as well.
Broadwater, currently I put our email somewhere. It's now scrolled past, but our email is in there at rentalsthebroadwaterla.com. And we're more than happy to take emails or through the Fringe site. We don't have any limitations on which kind of show or what kind of show or anything like that. Depending on the 4 different spaces, we have whatever you're looking for. We probably have something that will work for you. For this year, the black box is going to be, the black box is one of our most common, it's usually books out first, but it is going to be a live stream space. So if you rent in there, even if we go hybrid, you will also need to do live stream if you're in the black box, but the other 3 spaces don't have live stream at all. So it is one of those, that's the only kind of real switch for us for this year. But yeah, we're taking lists and getting everyone ready. So, and we also do tours because I, just as I am today, am here every day. And so I will be happy to at any time give you guys a tour. Just contact us.
Okay, sorry. That's Spider. Okay. You can contact us through our website. It's complexhollywood.com. You'll see our phone number there if you want to call, but emailing is really the best way. We are only doing tours by appointment. So please just let us know when you'd like to come by, and we will make sure that you can see one of the 4 spaces. We believe for streaming, we'll be able to do 2 of the spaces. We're not sure which 2 those will be yet, but we'll get it all figured out. And just, yeah, contact us through the website, complexhollywood.com. I put it all in the chat.
Rockin', thank y'all. And remember, yeah, it's so great. This is one of the great things about digital is we have this chat available to us as well. It's kind of your own note taker. And then also the website is still there. So you can always get in contact with these venues, even if you lose the contact information today. All right, y'all, I'm going to throw a curveball and combine the next 2 questions just to kind of speed things up. That way we can spend a lot of time on some of the live stream and more detailed questions. So I would love to know which emails, phone calls, or requests get your attention first. Is there a specific way a participant contacts you that automatically piques your interest? Also, what's a pro tip for best off times to book a show? And with Fringe, like, I don't even know what that means, right? It's a 3-week almost a 3-week festival of just show. So what's a hit time besides 8 p.m. on a Saturday in your expert opinions? And Monica, we're going to hop right back to you, darling.
Hello. Okay, so as far as what gets my attention,
or fertile in the theater or before, just so, because some
I don't know what happened there. Can you hear me?
You were all good. Yeah, let's just start fresh. Sorry about that, Monica.
I'm sorry. Okay, so anyway, I'm interested in everything. So everything gets my attention. I do think that we should all be aware that, you know, it's a brand new world. So unlike where it used to, I used to feel like I worked at a fast food restaurant and therefore had to deliver right away. Now I've discovered that it's a little bit better for me to think about what I'm doing and so on and so forth. So if we don't get back in 24 hours, it's not because we don't care. It's probably just because we are doing something else or ruminating over whatever you've asked us. So as far as what times to book a show, I will say I've been doing Fringe for 10 years, and I can truthfully say there is no bad time to book a show. There's not. The show time is what you make it. And I stand by that one. So that's it, I guess. Thank you.
For the Broadwater, there's two of us that kind of do all of the booking, and we each have our own things that we do. But so the first contact goes to Pedrick. He is an exceptionally busy human being. And so, including having 2 kids and all kinds of stuff. So there is a certain amount of sometimes delay in being able to respond, but we always get back to you as soon as we possibly can. And we're the same. We're interested in providing a home for theaters for shows, for being able to do Fringe and being able to show. And so there isn't any amount of us saying, well, we don't know if we like your show, or we don't. It's just, if you have a passion to bring your show to people, we will help you do that. And so that's really who we are. As far as how the best way to get in touch with us, any way that you do it, it's going to get answered in the order in which it was received, because that's the only way we've discovered not to go insane. And then I agree with Monica wholeheartedly. I've never seen a bad time to book a show. If I've watched shows that are on a Tuesday at 11 p.m. sell out every single time, because they've done the work and they've hustled and they've done all of that stuff. And so it's not about when you are, it's about how the connections you made and how you market your show.
Hello. So I would say the best way to contact us is either apply through the Fringe site or email. I mean, you can definitely call us and then we'll probably say, we'll email you information just to keep everything. And we're happy to talk on the phone too, but we will definitely put you into our email just so that we have that record. It's always really good for us to have everything kind of streamlined in there. We tend to get a lot of texts, or like if it's people that we know, I get a lot of Facebook messages, and even from producer friends, I say, please email me, because I am not going to remember your text and Facebook messages. So we will direct you to our email, which is it's rentals@thestagecrafts. Our last name is crafts.com. So yeah, you can definitely do that. Again, I echo Monica in saying that, like, I used to get back to people in like seconds. But this year I've kind of had to get another job because of gestures widely, which is fine. It's all, I handle both. And, but sometimes it does mean that I need to handle something else for a couple hours before I can get back on my Stagecrafts email. And we are hopefully going to be transitioning to just Stagecrafts again, but I can't guarantee when that will be. And Greg too he's primarily going to be your contact, especially for tech, but I'll probably be your contact for scheduling. And then just in terms of the best time for a show, yeah, I agree. It doesn't really matter, right? We even, especially on the weekends, we have shows booked from 10 a.m. till about 1 a.m. And we've had past years where every single one of those is sold out. Doesn't matter. You may find that your show will fit better in a certain time than others. A couple years ago, for example, we had a we had a vampire show with a blood cannon. They needed a lot of time to clean up. So they had the last show of the night. And we've had children's shows that prefer earlier in the day because they probably wouldn't do super great at midnight. So only something that's specific like that, I think, would be something that you'd really hang on to or be really hung up on the times. But in terms of like prime times, like 8 o'clock on Friday, personally, and I've been producing at Fringe for every year that there's been a Fringe, I tend to stay away from the prime times because everyone wants those prime times, you know? And so your audience can only see one show at a time. But if you have varying times, maybe you have one prime time, maybe you have several others that are matinees or a midnight show or whatever, gives people variety. And I think that'll be really good to keep in mind, even if it's hybrid or streaming, because of course, then you can go also to different time zones. So people all over the world can see your show. So the time, it's not a big deal.
In terms of shows, we really like everything. So feel free to come in with all your shows. You know, in general, and this was kind of brought up, people who are patient and especially this year flexible, that goes a long way. We're dealing with a ton of unknowns. And in relation to that, while yes, I think Fringe has shown that in a normal year, any slot can be a good slot and it's how you're marketing. It's going to be a challenging year. We don't know the number of shows. We don't know what that's going to mean. And yes, you can market any show to get an audience. But I think we need to be aware too that, as Jen kind of mentioned, streaming is a whole nother option. And now streaming shows, if it is just streaming, you may want a show that's an 11 a.m. show because that's 7 o'clock in UK and that's a good audience for your show. So I think this year, the ones that are going to do well are going to think outside of the box of how to approach this year. And unfortunately, everything we've done in the last 10 years, we've got to kind of relook at it in terms of this new year. So I plan with our people to work and look at their shows and see what time makes sense. Theoretically, if there are fewer shows, then there's far less competition and there may be other slots available. But in general, as been mentioned, different slots at different times and avoiding some of the prime times really works in your favor to give people options to see your shows. And now with streaming, that has really exploded that to an international market, which is really exciting.
Well said, Matthew. Pretty much, I would say the same thing that Matthew just said. I've already had people who insist on a Sunday in the morning because their audience is in Europe. And, you know, so if you look at each individual show as how to market that, like this is my brunch show. This is a show that everybody that's a waiter is going to go to. This is the show that everybody else in Fringe is going to come to, and really market each individual. This is the one for my parents because they want to come at 8 o'clock on a Saturday. You know, look at each individual time slot and market accordingly. You'll do very well. And we also make sure that everybody is equally spread out so that we don't have any shows that are all 8 o'clock Saturdays and so it's all spread out equally for everyone to have the opportunity to market to all the different places. As far as getting in touch with us, don't text us. We actually have a landline business line, so don't text it. But we will answer. We will call you back. We're very good about that. We're open as a business when we have been open since July of last year, doing some of our classes as well as filming stuff. So we have people at the desk working. So call and we will pick up the phone and talk to you, or email. Okay. I think that covers what you asked this round. Okay, thanks, Lois.
Yeah, call, email, whatever. The Fringe site has a great way to communicate with all of these venues. You know, I highly recommend using that one as well. We get back to you pretty fast. Equal opportunity. I mean, I guess I would be lying if I said that certain shows don't pique my interest a little bit. You know, if I read a description, I maybe want to see that show more, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, everybody gets the same level of response time, everything. As far as show times, and I mean, I'm just going to generally echo what everybody else has said. There are no bad slots. I will say that the Hudson, historically, we don't book a ton of slots. And this year in particular, I think probably we're only looking at doing 1 or 2 a night. On the weekends, we'll do maybe 3 or 4. We're not, you know, like if a show, it depends on the show's needs. If a show is a longer show, it's probably just that we're just going to say that's going to be it for that night. We don't really talk to people about trying to do afternoon slots or anything like that during the week, like Monday through Friday. But with streaming as a thing, you know, if you said to us, we want to do a noon show on a Tuesday, certainly we'd be open to it. We just don't look to offer those as standard slots. That's all I got.
Hello. I feel like I'm pretty much at the ditto point of the roster. Yes, every show I get back to and want to hear about every show, and you know, before I took over this venue, I'm mostly a techie and stage manager, so I love problem solving and figuring out how to make, you know, your show come to life. So I love chatting about that stuff and working with you on that. So any and all, I'm excited to see what creativity is has been created through this very insane year. Yeah, and as far as time slots, I mean, like, ditto on everyone. You know, time zones have changed things, but to take into account. But it's really about knowing your show and knowing how you plan on marketing it, and then kind of choosing around that, and also, you know, not always doing a time that's going to compete with a lot of other shows. And recording in progress. Sorry, pop up. Hi. But yeah, and that's also something, you know, if you want to discuss as well, if it's your first time, you're like, you know. But I'd say there's, again, no bad time during the Fringe. Thanks.
Hi. So email me. I'm still working part-time as we're hopping back in, so it might take me a day to respond to you, but we try and get back to you as soon as possible. And when you email, just include the name of your show and how long it is and how many shows you want to do. And then as far as show times, I'm gonna ditto your ditto and say it just, if we're going to be hybrid and in person, then really there's no bad time. If you're streaming your show, then certainly I think that there's more thought process that should go into what time you're doing as far as what audiences you're going to reach. And I think really the best thing about Fringe is marketing your shows individually. You know, yes, you need to market your show as a whole, but you find the best results if you market them individually. Like I believe Lauren said, you know, if you have a brunch show, then market it as a brunch show, you know, do mimosas and, you know, or have everyone live stream, you know, if you're live streaming, make sure that they know like, oh, it's Sunday morning at noon, everyone have mimosa ready and watch our show, you know, something like that. I think that's about it.
That's so great, y'all. So we're gonna get into live stream. I know that's a huge question on everyone's mind. How is this all gonna work? And it's gonna work differently with every venue. So we're gonna go into, this is probably gonna be a long round of just detail how that's gonna work at each venue. Because at the end of the day, regardless of whether we pivot to hybrid or not, live stream will be a major element. And what a great opportunity even to do both in the event of a hybrid, to have an audience in the physical house and then around the world. It's, I mean, really an opportunity to expand your audience quite a bit. So venues, what are you offering in regards to in-house live stream services that are included with your booking package? Live stream services optional, space rental only. that sort of thing. If you are renting your stage in a more like BYO live stream setup to participants, what are your Wi-Fi capabilities like? Are you able to hardwire the modem connection in each space? What is your Wi-Fi upload speed? That sort of thing. And in an effort just to kind of give everyone a solid chance to talk this through, I'd also love to know what types of shows will work best in your venue. One person, two-hander, musicals, those sorts of things, based on both your specific stages and if you have in-house live stream, what shows will benefit from specific tech abilities that you have as a venue? And we'll throw it right on back to Amber.
So we're doing a 4-wall rental this year. So just space rental. What that means is we will rent you the theatrical lighting, the sound system, and the stage. We have a variety of set pieces you're more than welcome to use. And then we do, I believe someone asked in the chat, we do require that you use our tech person who will control the lights and the sound. They'll also do basic programming for you as far as the lights and sound go. We are not offering a live stream package, but we certainly know several recommendations for people who are able to come in this house and set up everything. We do have a Ethernet connection right in the theater, right outside our tech booth, so you can hardline into our Wi-Fi. We only have one theater space, and so one person on our Wi-Fi at once. That's a lot of ones. But just saying that we're not going to have it overloaded. I believe our speed is 100 download and 20 upload. So it should be, if I did my research right, that should be plenty. And then, hold on, I'm looking at what other questions are. Yeah, and then honestly, we can take whatever shows want to come in. I think that if we're hybrid and we still have spacing, social distancing requirements, we have 74 seats, we can go up to 84, so plenty of room to space out. And then again, we're a 3/4 thrust, so we can have audiences on 3 sides, but I also think if you're just streaming your show, then that gives you more angles that you can put the cameras at. Did I answer all the questions, Lois? Okay.
Hello. So yes, as far as live stream, currently we have a 1-camera operation, but we are looking into expanding that to a 3-camera operation. But as of now, we have 1 camera, which covers the whole space, which is great because it's a 25-foot wide stage. So we have full coverage there, and it was just this theater, so 1 person on the Wi-Fi at a time. We do have, just the Wi-Fi has a 394 download speed and a 22 upload speed, so it's pretty darn good. But we also have a hardline Wi-Fi, or excuse me, Ethernet cable to hardline in as well if need be. Let me think, what were the other questions? Oh, what am I missing, Lois?
Oh, you're doing great. Just like what type of shows would really benefit from your particular space, either like via the stage or your live stream capabilities?
Oh, again, I think, any and all. I've had, since it's such a wide space, you can have, a larger production, but also, it's an intimate space. So a 1-person show, you can do a cartwheel from one side to the other and still be just 1 person. So I don't know, come on in and check it out. And yeah, and if you have any questions about the live stream, we've done several tests, especially for working with our tungsten lighting versus like LED and color and how all that works. So feel free to reach out and I can kind of show everyone how that works and how it looks, so you can kind of see what this new landscape looks like. So cool. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. Well, our live stream speed is not as good as some of these other numbers I'm hearing. It's like 11 megabytes, or at least based on the speed test thing that I did. But we've had actually years pre-pandemic of very successful live streams, always run off of our Wi-Fi. I don't know what to tell you, but the number I got back was 11 megabytes per second. We have 3 theaters. 2 of them are 99-seat theaters. One's a 43-seat theater. And for the 43-seat theater, we get a ton of solo shows and two-handers. And casts of up to 6 or 7 people too. The larger, the 99-seat theaters, we get anything from solo shows all the way up to large cast musicals. So we have something that can fit everyone. The live stream, we're not offering in-house live stream service. We are going to provide a list of trusted vendors that can provide that service for you, or you're welcome to bring in your own person.
Hi. So we have a 22 for the upload. I didn't note the download, but I know it's much higher than the upload. I was concerned with the upload for streaming. And we're going to be providing, we have 2 wonderful streaming operators that have pivoted over the course of this year to become really terrific at streaming with 3 cameras and cutting between them and all the whole thing. So we have secured them. As far as the equipment, I'm working on figuring out what to do, but we'll have that all set as well by the time we get around to doing this. So we're right in the midst of figuring it all out, but I wanted to secure the operators first, and because they know what they're doing, and then I don't have to worry about it because these guys, have done a lot for us already, so I trust them, and it's going to be great. What else am I supposed to talk about right now? That's it, right? Okay, take it away, Matt.
Thanks, Lauren. All right, so I mentioned earlier, flexibility and options, I think, are really important this year. So we have set this up to give you choices. One of our spaces, Stephanie Fury, the streaming is built into the package. We're very excited to be working with Rich Clark, who has been videographing shows 9 years at the Fringe and really has an eye for this stuff. And we've created different options for it. So it's a 1 camera or 2 camera or 3 camera. And if we go hybrid and you don't have to stream a show, he is happy to photograph the show. So depending on what happens, you're going to have a lot of options on how you can shoot this and stream it. So that's Stephanie Fury. Our other space, Thymely, is going to be more of a 4-wall. So we also have contacts with top-level vendors. You will get the space, lighting, seats. As mentioned, all of our spaces, or brought up with someone, all of our spaces will have a tech person that you will pay separately that will run the lights and sound. And so we will keep this flexible. We will work out scheduling with all that in terms of the streaming, but that's how we're kind of approaching it this way, to give you options depending on what your show is. Our spaces vary in size, so I think depending on your show, we could find one of the asylum spaces that can work for you. Probably gearing more towards the 1, 2, 3-handers, but our spaces over at Thymely are flexible spaces, so they can go very large for those larger musicals.
Really quick, Jen, if you don't mind, I'm going to hop in here just to remind everyone that we absolutely have a Q&A portion at the end. We want you to be able to ask your questions out loud if you so choose, and also know a lot of the questions that are coming through are fantastic, and good news is we have them in our lineup, so we'll definitely be getting to those soon, I promise. Thank you, Jen. Go right ahead, darling.
No problem. Hi, guys. So at Studio Stage, we're trying to be as full service as possible, which is why we're testing it out tonight. So we're going to have a 3-camera setup. And I will preface this by saying that Greg is the tech person who knows all the things. He's actually at Best Buy right now getting more cables. So hopefully he'll be back for the Q&A portion and can give you a lot more information, but I'm like literally texting him at the same time, getting numbers. So, but anyway, we have a 3-camera setup. We have a sound mixer. We have very high-speed internet as well as Ethernet hardwired. He told me to tell you that we have 300 up and 30 down. I know, ooh, he says that's like gamer level. So again, he knows these things, I don't. But so he did get the like top level internet so that everything is smooth and hopefully all great. Oh, someone says, wow. Oh, Amber says, wow. There you go. Amber knows. And then so Greg is an all-around tech guy. So again, in trying to be full service, we offer lighting design. Greg is a professional lighting designer. And he has a very special low in-house rate, but you're welcome to bring your own lighting designer. You don't have to hire him for lighting design. However, he will be running all the streaming tech. So he's actually converting our extremely messy office right now into his like streaming tech booth. So he's gonna have 3 monitors and the sound mixer. We also have mics. We're gonna have 6 lav mics. And then we're gonna have, I see, yay. We are also gonna have some hanging mics, I think. Maybe he'll tell me I'm wrong. We definitely have the lav mics though. And you're welcome to bring in your own too. And then we have rolled in the price of the streaming and him running every single one of your shows on streaming into our rental. And actually it turned out that it wasn't much more than without. So it just made sense to not look like we were adding a bunch of things on. In terms of just regular theater tech, we do also, as most, as all venues do, we do require you to hire our venue stage manager. That's a contract, it's a separate contract between you and the stage manager. It's affordable, I promise. And then should it become hybrid, and we're all hoping it will, we are gonna continue to have that full service streaming happening as well for every performance. So you can say like, no, I don't want but you're still gonna be, it's still gonna be rolled into the price. So you might as well use it. And then you can sell a whole bunch more tickets. So how many, our theater is wheelchair accessible, answering that particular question. Yeah. And then in terms of what shows work best, I mean, to be honest, we've had almost everything on the stage. We've had 28 people on our stage. We've had 15-person musicals with a full band. We have a big loft for our booth where we actually have put a full band before. So it's pretty versatile. And then if you, and then of course, anyone who needs projection, we've got a high definition projector that's also included in all the rentals. So you don't have to pay extra for that. You project on the psych, it looks all beautiful. So did I answer all the questions? I'm not the tech person.
That was great, Jen.
Yay. Watch our live stream tonight and see if it works.
Sorry, all of a sudden my mouse wasn't working and I couldn't unmute. And I'm like, okay. The Broadwater has, Sacred Fools is the resident theater company, sorry. Broadwater has in our space, we have an Ethernet connection for all of the live stream. We are 50 up, 50 down. I know that sounds like smaller numbers, but we're a parallel stream. So it doesn't matter how many people are downloading or doing things or anything like that. It will not affect the speed of your upload. So our numbers may not sound as good, but they actually work absolutely fine for live streaming. We've had a number of shows. I can't count how many shows we've had actually do live streaming from the space. We have a 3-camera fixed and 1-camera movable setup. As far as our own, and the 1-camera movable pretty much be any place that you want to have it. If you want to bring someone in who can move the camera during the show, we can talk about that. But otherwise, that 1 camera can go to wherever special sort of place you need it to be. The other 3 cameras are set, and they're hung from the grid, so they're not ever going to be. It's not like you've got a whole bunch of tripods in the way. If we do get to go hybrid, you won't have to have people kicking your cameras or our cameras, and they'll be our cameras. So there is that. And then we do, just like the other spaces, we have our own stage manager that we require you to hire. She has worked in this space for all the years that we've been in this building, and she's fantastic. She knows the space like nobody's business. We also have a live stream technician that you will have that you will have to pay for separately, and that's just so that they can create what you need to create, and then you don't have to worry about bringing your own person in and having some setup that who knows what happened. It's just to make sure that everything is fluid and that everything can always be ready to go when you need it to go. And we do not provide any front of house service. We do ask you to bring your own box office people in and stuff like that. But once you get in the doors, we are all about taking care of you. So that's where we're at. And as far as the question about wheelchair accessibility, we're actually, the Broadwater, the entire building is ADA compliant. And we're actually, for those of you who know the space, our main front door has had stairs, and has been the one issue that we've had to bring you through a different space to be able to go through that. We're getting that changed. It's being, we're remodeling, and it's going to be a ramp. And so the entire building is now absolutely 100% ADA accessible. And I am so excited about that. I'm not looking forward to not having my front door for 2 months, but you know, beyond that, it is, we're very pleased to be able to say that we're doing that. Altering a 1929 building takes a lot of permitting, so this has been a battle, but yay. So that's it.
Hello. Okay, so we have 4 theaters. 3 of them are downstairs, and so ground level. They are all 3 proscenium stages. One of them is pretty wide open. It could be anything. The other is more of a black box with one entrance exit through a door. And we have also added a set to the Ruby Theater, which has 3 entrances and exits. So it's a little different. Still has the red grand drape in that one, so still good for cabaret and burlesque and magic, solo shows, and anything. But we have a lot of variety. Upstairs, we have the Flight Theater, which is a black box. It is very mobile in that we have moving walls that you can add a door or not. So you can do any configuration in that space that you would like. My thoughts are we'll probably be streaming from the Flight and one of the downstairs theaters, either the Ruby or the Dory, or that could change. Really, it's all kind of mobile, you know, we're trying to keep it mobile, trying to keep it loose, fluid. So we do have streaming available. We have a 3-camera setup. We have done a show, and we're getting ready to do another show coming up in June, which went really well. So I'm very confident about our capabilities. They told me to say that we have the output of 10 megabits per second. I'm a theater broad, man. This is new to me, but we're getting there. So I've got, what else do we offer? We have stage managers that have worked with us since almost the beginning. So they'll be coming back to help you with your lighting, your sound, getting in and out of the building, that kind of thing. And we will also be offering a streaming operator. Those are both paid for by you, but it is a very small fee compared to what you get in return. We also do box office. So we will be the ones at the door, making sure if we have COVID restrictions as far as vaccinations or showing a negative COVID test, our people will be at the door and on that. Our highest priority is to keep you safe, to keep your audience safe and your actors safe, and ourselves safe. And we also just want you to have a really wonderful experience. We know it's going to be strange, but again, we're theater people. So the show will go on, and we're going to make sure that you do it to the best of your ability. Anything we can do to help, we're here to do that. We have projection in every space. Of course, complete lighting and sound capabilities. Anything more than that, I suppose you should probably just email me and I'll let you know. Thanks.
That's fantastic. And I want to hop in, with COVID guidelines, that's a thought on everyone's mind, right? So no, like I said, we're sort of like all in like this holding pattern until we get those final guidelines, because that's going to determine how long things need to be aired out, what we can do safely, as far as a festival is concerned. Right now, what we're running with is TV and film guidelines, which we can 100%, we could have done this 4 months ago legally and safely. Like, so that's what we're running with right now. And just so you know, all of the venues, this is another thing we chat so often, we have been for months, making sure that we all, as a festival at large, are following guidelines to a T to keep our community safe, because that's what matters most. That's why we had to postpone, cancel, postpone again. Your safety is most important to us. All right, with that, so no, like a lot of that will get covered on as those final guidelines drop as well. Let's talk about during the festival. So a lot of venues touched on this, which is so great. So I'm just going to ask, if you did not touch on what staff comes with your space, anything that participants will need to cover at your venue with both live stream or in general, please touch on that in this next round of questions, because it is super important to know what to expect when you go into a venue, right? So with this, how does tech and rehearsal time work in your venue? And will it work differently with live stream? We're going to start back with Monica.
Okay, so I pretty much just jumped the gun on that last one, but I'll just remind you that we do have stage managers. We will have streaming techs, because you'll need both. You'll need someone to run the lights and sound, and you'll need someone to do your live editing during the streaming process. So we do offer both of those. Small stipend for those people compared to, again, what you're getting in return. We also do have box office staff. It is a small fee for that. And it does take a lot of headache off of you trying to just get in and get your stuff ready for the show. You don't have to worry about someone house managing, so on and so forth. That's about it. I'll hand it over to Heather. Heather.
Yeah, as I mentioned, we do request that you hire our stage manager. Well, not request, you have to hire our stage manager and our live stream technician. We are making sure that other than adding that cost to the live stream technician, having the package, there is no added expense for the package. So though there is an added expense with having to hire that person, don't have it other ways. As far as tech and things like that, whatever size show you have, so if you have a 60-minute show, or 60 is easiest to do the math, you get 2 hours free in the space for tech and 2 hours free in the space for rehearsal. So double the amount of time of your show. But you will still be responsible for paying the stage manager and the live stream technician, since they're on a separate contract. But every single space has video, and every single space has QLab and a plot, and we're technically very covered, and it is lovely. We don't have, as I said, we don't have anyone working house for us, because what we are essentially, this is your space, and we don't want to have to deal with money or taking anything like that. We want all of that to go to you. And so we've got that set up. We also, if everything is allowed to go back to opening up and we can have it, we will also have the bar open. So we're looking at trying to be able to open the bar about July, hopefully. But this depends. If we can't have full occupancy because we don't have outdoor seating, we can't open it because it's a small bar. But it's fantastic. But it is a great place for people to hang out and spend time and things like that. So I was given permission by Pedrick to drop that we might be able to open. So we're looking forward to that. So that's what we provide.
If y'all came today, you're getting the super secrets of the Hollywood community. I love it.
Okay, I was texting Greg. He's still at Best Buy looking for an HDMI cable. Um, so, okay, so I talked a little bit about our stage managers, which everyone has said that as well, that's someone that you need to hire. And that's really just ensuring that's ensuring the quality of your show. I don't know if anyone's like explained that a little bit. There was a time where venues did not require venue stage managers to be hired. And those were sort of disastrous times, gonna be honest. That was before I was a venue manager and I was a producer. I'm the artistic director of Theater Unleashed. And we had a show before venues had venue stage managers. And it was just like, bring your buddy, have them push the buttons in the booth. We had a musical with 139 sound cues that was completely erased 3 times during the Fringe. And that wasn't the venue's fault in any way. It was the show before us and their buddy who was in the booth and did something to the computer. So that's why we have venue stage managers. Venue stage managers are the best because they ensure that that will not happen. Yeah, Amber, exactly. So we have that. If we have a hybrid festival, we also have a front of house manager. And the main reason for that is we actually did that before anything was shut down. The main reason for that is that our law, there's a door between the lobby and the space. And a lot of times we would have people, kind of walk in and be like, is this Steve's show in the middle of the show? You don't want that either. So we have a venue house manager that will handle your box office, handle making sure everything is quiet out here. Nothing's going to disturb your show. And then if it is a situation based on whatever guidance we get from the city, if we do need to check things like vaccination cards or whatnot, they would be able to do that for you as well. So you don't have to worry about that. The other person that would be someone that you would need to hire is for the streaming equipment. We would need a camera up. Because we have a 3-camera setup, we're actually able to like move with actors. So you do want to hire a camera up. We actually have 3 professional DPs that we're working with who are going to be able to provide that for you. So yeah, so it's a little bit more of an expense this year, going to be honest, because we do have that extra person that that you need to hire, but it's all going to be super worth it because your shows are going to look awesome. The other person that is going to be working with you is Greg, and he's going to be actually handling the stream. So going back and forth between cameras, sound mixing, all the things I don't really know about, but he's included in our rentals. There was one other thing I was going to talk about. Oh no, what was the other question? What was it, Lois? You're muted.
Sorry, I had to double check myself. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Talk about the like tech process, rehearsal space.
Oh, that's it. Yes. Okay. So one of the things we started doing a couple of years ago that was wildly popular is we started including full dress rehearsals in our rental package. And it just was better for literally everyone. It was better for the stage manager. It's better for the cast. It's better for everyone. And the reason for that was that for years, we would see so many preview shows where the producer would get up and go, hey guys, we didn't really get to do a full run at our tech. So this is our first full run on the stage. No one wants that. So we eliminate that possibility by including your tech is 3 hours beyond the length of your show. So if you have a 60-minute show, you have a 3-hour tech included in your rental package. And then you also have a full dress rehearsal the week after your tech. That is it's your show length plus an hour. So you can put out any fires that may happen. But that, what that means though, is basically our techs get pushed out a little, or our techs start a little bit earlier than everyone else's, because we want everyone to have that week of dress rehearsal time. But I think that's gonna be really, really helpful this year in terms of getting all the streaming tech stuff done. More time, the better, right? And then in terms of rehearsal, the space is available for rehearsals. You would just have to book that directly through me. We have a special Fringe rate, and that's just subject to availability. But there you go.
I forgot to mention our magic numbers for download upload. So our download's 120, our upload is 20, 22 in all of our spaces, which it's a good speed for streaming. We also do stage managers come with the space. You pay them independently. As I mentioned with streaming, the streaming person is included in the package rate. So you don't need to pay them separately unless you are in family, and then you will be having your own separate streaming. Or I have several people who have their own streaming equipment, which I forgot to mention is another nice option. If you just want to come in and stream with your own camera, that's absolutely workable. In regards to extra time, we will give you 2 to 4 hours of extra space time, which you can use for anything. You can use it for rehearsal, you can use it for a tech, you can use it for a special streaming, however you want to use it. And then we also have additional rental space, not only at Stephanie Fury, but our family space actually has 4 separate rehearsal rooms. So you can use any of those spaces and you can mark out any sort of dimensions for any of the asylum spaces, or really any venue out there. So that's a nice perk of being with Asylum. Anything else? Stage manager, and one thing, house person. So again, flexibility and options for this year. So we normally do what Broadwater has mentioned doing, where you bring your own. However, depending on what we are told we can do, we may implement having you pay for one of our house managers to run house, especially if there's a vaccination card check or anything like that. We're very concerned about safety. We're very concerned about doing this the right way when people come in. So we are going to have that option depending on what we feel is safest for people coming into our space. Okay. Yeah, and we'll know more after June 15th. I think I covered it all, right? That's it.
Hi. Okay, so usually we have a staff of about 40. I don't have a staff of 40 right now, but I am putting out emails and seeing who I can get back and then building from there. By the time Fringe comes, we probably will be at least at half staff at that point. So we have a lot of people that work and love the theater and want you to do a great show. So they're there for crowd control, making sure that people are going into the right theater for you, making sure that people know that they can park where they can park. I mean, just all that kind of stuff gets taken care of. I handle the box office because I feel like it's your money, and I want to make sure that every dime is collected correctly and given back to you. So I'll do all the box office for everybody, and there's no additional charge for that. That's just so that it works, and I know how to do it very quickly and to get audiences in and through. So I take care of that for you. We do ask that you have a house manager who can collect your tickets, and that can just be a friend or whatever, because then after they've collected the tickets, the number of tickets you have will correspond with my box office records, so that we both have a double check that everything's working out perfectly. This year, we're going to be starting probably in early July-ish for rehearsals and tech, because I think there's going to be much more of it this time around, between rehearsals for streaming, rehearsals for regular theater part of it, going through tech rehearsals. I think you have to have a tech rehearsal for streaming. So we're pretty much dedicating July to Fringe as well. And some of it'll be included, and then there, as much as you need, a one-person show certainly may not need as much as the 18-person musical. So we'll figure it out as we go. I mean, we're on your side. We want you to do a great show. We don't want people to come to our theater and say, I saw some of the worst theater I ever saw at that theater. We want them to say it was great. So we want to help you as much as we can to make it as great as possible for you. I think that's all you're asking right now, right? Is about rehearsal. Okay, there you go.
Hi. The Hudson includes a stage manager, includes a stage manager for performances. For a tech, we generally include 2 hours of tech. Sometimes we include more if necessary. And the stage manager's rate is included in whatever we include. We also include a house manager. We also include a box office person. We have valet parking service. The service is included. Cars that choose to park there pay $7 a car, but the service is set up for at no additional charge. We have a big marquee. Your name goes up on there. Big, beautiful marquee on the front of the building. The only additional charge would be for live stream, because that's not something that we're offering in-house. So we would be giving you the vendor list of live stream providers, and then they have different rates, and you can talk to them about what they're going to charge. Everything I said, of course, assumes. Okay, everything I said is historically how we operate, and it assumes a hybrid festival. If it's a live stream only festival, you don't really need parking. Who cares about box office? Who cares about the house manager that we include? And so we can be flexible and talk about how we would adapt if it stays live stream only.
Hello. Similarly to most other venues, we have a tech stage manager that will be additional hourly cost, and also a live stream tech. And whether we're looking into this multi-camera setup, which we will most likely have, but our current camera also does like resizes the frame in real time, so you can do live zooms and such. So that's I think par for the course. This year in our packages, we also include 3 times your length of show in tech, and then also a dress run. And as Lauren was saying, yeah, I think definitely starting early July, or the earlier the better. I think it's always better to start tech early and give yourself time and space for more, so you feel confident and confident for your opening show or preview. So, we do not currently have a house manager or box office person, but if that's something you need us to provide, we can look into that. Am I missing anything, Lois? Sweet. Thank you.
Amber, I lost you.
What? I'm here. Can you hear me though? Oh, there we go. Okay. So for tech time, we included in our rate is 2 hours free of tech time. And then we certainly can book more than that. I estimate with live streaming shows, we're going to need more tech time to make sure everything's working properly. We certainly include we have rehearsal time available. Again, I said we had 5 studios 1 block away from the Zephyr that have rehearsal availability, and I do a Fringe discount rate. That's for everyone in Fringe, whether you book with us or not. It's just community discount rate. I lost my paper. Hold on. So we include, so if we're hybrid, we will, it's additional cost, but we will have our box office person, house manager run checking in everyone. They can take cash at the door. If you guys set up credit card at the door, they can take that as well. And then certainly check everyone off the will call list. And then if we do have to check vaccine cards or negative COVID tests at the door, they will do that so that you guys don't have to deal with that headache. We do require you to hire our tech person. They will, again, control the lights and the sound, any projections. And then what we're doing this year, you hire the tech person directly, but we will make sure that they're trained as a COVID compliance officer so that they know all the rules and regs so that they can help you with that. I think that's all the questions.
Yeah, that was it. Thank you, Amber. All right, y'all. I am going to combine yet again because we're running out of time and I want to make sure you guys have time to ask all your great questions. So let's, like, we've been talking a little about this hybrid model, and I know that you want to have as many facts as possible. That way, when you book a venue, you know from plan A to plan Z, you're going to be happy with your experience, no matter where our festival model ends up. So let's live in this futuristic, possible hybrid model future. And I would love to know from each venue, if we were to pivot hybrid, would you accommodate in-person audience, or would you let the show choose, that sort of thing? And if yes, you would accommodate in-person audience, what is your house size? Of course, we all know regulations are going to, we don't know what those are yet. So just what is your house size in general? That way everyone can get an idea of what that might look like. And then also, what are things about your venue's in-person experience you want participants to know? Are there nearby bars and restaurants? Is there parking? We know, whoa, that's a crazy thing and an important thing in Hollywood. And just what's your in-person experience going to be like? Amber, I give back to you, darling.
Awesome. We certainly will do hybrid. We want live performances. We want to get back to air quotes normal. We actually have live performances going on right now, obviously with COVID restrictions applied and adapting. We're excited for August. If everything's opened up, we really estimate the restrictions to be very small, and we will certainly be accommodating of that. We are 74 seats with a max of 85. Really a 3/4 thrust, so we have roughly 50 in our center section and then the rest on the sides. We have a lovely outdoor courtyard which we use as our lobby, so it's nice for everyone. They can have a drink if it's permitted by the county rules before the show, and but also be outside and space out and have plenty of space. And then we, for the cast, if they don't feel comfortable being in the dressing room, we have a back courtyard behind our theater where if the cast wants to space out and be outside they can, and it's private. That's also where you'd load in and out. We are right on Melrose Boulevard, so we are surrounded by restaurants and shops and people walking by. We will, certainly advertise on our marquee for you guys so that people know that there's shows going on. I have a lot of people that walk in every day if our gates open and say, hey, what's going on? Are you doing anything? I think people are eager to get back. So I think that's everything. Yeah.
Hello again. Yes, we are open to and willing to do hybrid and offer both, so you can have a streaming audience and a live audience, obviously accommodating all restrictions. We are like a 28-30 seat house. And wait, what were the other questions? What else? Like we have
you're in person. Like
yeah.
if you're in person, do you have parking? Yeah. Are there bars, restaurants nearby?
There is plenty of street parking in this area. That's usually there's some restrictions weekdays, afternoons, but there's plenty of side street parking. We also have, which I didn't mention earlier, but we do have full storage for sets and such at actually the next door theater, which can help for faster in and out times. And yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing what the options are through the county and through Fringe, and see we can make an audience that's both far and wide and intimate in here. So yeah, thanks.
Okay. What are we talking about? COVID stuff and the experience of, we've had a couple shows here as well already with fully vaccinated audiences, and have had the experience of checking those people in and that whole thing. It's gone pretty well. We have a fully vaccinated staff at the Hudson. Experience at the Hudson, doing a show at the Hudson's great. There's a restaurant in a building. There's a coffee shop in the building that also serves alcohol now. That's kind of new that they do that, and it's great. You can get a drink before the show. You can get a drink after the show. Like I mentioned before, we do have the valet parking service for when we have shows for patrons. What else was part of this question, Lois?
House size, and it's all like what the in-person experience is.
Yeah, so we have, the 3 theaters, and 2 of them are 99-seat theaters. One's a 43-seat theater, and experience is always good. We have a great staff. I'm really proud of our staff here. Yeah, that's all I got.
Hi. Okay, I think I kind of touched on some of this already, but I'm sorry. Live, yes, absolutely. We're going to do live shows, I believe, no matter what. So I'm more than optimistic. I'm planning on it. Our proscenium is 80 seats. Our one that moves around is up to 70 seats. Our small theater is 26 seats. We have lots of bars around. The Jones's Cafe and the Formosa Cafe are right down the street, a block and a half. The Formosa just spent $2 million to renovate, to restore it back to its original beauty. It has an upstairs bar area. You can rent it out for if you want to do private parties for your kickoff or after. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the drinks are heavy pours. I mean, it's really good. So that's there. Parking in the area is very easy. All of my businesses, Oprah's right down the street from me, and Funny or Die, and all those people it's hard to find parking in the daytime, but when Fringe goes at night and on weekends, it's like deserted. So we can have plenty of parking in the area. And let's see. We also have a very large parking lot ourselves. And so people tend to hang out the shows afterwards and talk a little bit, right there, and then walk all the way down, the block and go and have a drink. So it's very social. We also encourage shows within our venue with the 3 theaters to see each other, support each other. And to that end, we also offer some concessions so that people maybe will just grab a snack and then stay and see another show instead of feeling like, oh, I'm starving, I can't possibly sit through another show. And we get a lot of people that stay and do that. So it's a very social, as it's been in the past, it's very social. And we will do our best to make it social once again.
So we're very excited about the prospect of this going hybrid. But if a show, and I've already had a few comment this, if you don't want audience, you can just stream it. So we are allowing that option for people, but we will plan. Stephanie Fury goes up to 42 seats. Thymely, one space. Kansas is about 20 to 30. California is probably around 20 to 50. Again, they're both very flexible spaces. So you can do theater in the round. You can do 3/4, whatever you kind of want to set it up. Thymely, Bert just reminded me, Thymely is very exciting. They just took over the first floor of their building, and they will have a small cafe or something magical like that going on the first floor, which we really see as a really exciting, especially for all the venues over on the east side. I'm looking at you, Jen. I'm looking at you, Caitlin. Like, this is like great to have kind of a little social hub there. And that will be right below the spaces. And there is an elevator. It's totally handicapped accessible.
They also have a bar, like a little bar where patrons can get drinks before or after the show, or snacks, or just regular beverages.
So it really is going to set up for that community feeling. Stephanie Fury, on the other hand, is in a beautiful area on Melrose and Larchmont.
Near Paramount.
Near Paramount. And I just was by there yesterday, and there is a new coffee shop opening up right next door to it. So we're still waiting to see some of the businesses. Lemonade was there.
Lemonade's there.
Cafe Gratitude.
Yeah, it's a Larchmont area. So it's like next to Larchmont Street. So if you walk down like 1 block, there's all these restaurants, stores, and just a beautiful area.
A beautiful area. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting that community vibe going back with the magic of Fringe.
All right. Yeah, I mean, live audiences, hybrid, bring it on, right? Our staff is fully vaccinated. So, and our staff is just me, Greg, are going to be our stage managers and our camera ops. We are all fully vaccinated and super comfortable with pretty much anything. So like, bring it on. But of course, if you just want to do streaming and you don't want an audience, also absolutely okay. It's whatever everyone is comfortable with. We'll be following whatever guidelines are out. Again, we don't know what it's going to look like. But at least according to the news that recently came out about June 15th, it may be that we have next to no restrictions. So I don't know. We're going to all find out together on June 15th and then go from there. But once that happens, we'll have more information, but we're happy to have as many people in the audience as possible. We seat 41. We have 31 like solid chairs that are nailed down. And then we have a row of 10 in the front that we can put in. So a total of 41. In terms of parking, we do have a full parking lot in the back for audience, or I'm sorry, not for audiences, for participants. So that's where you would park and where you would load in. We do usually limit the amount of actual actors that get to park back there during Fringe, only because our staff is back there and whatever, but you have it, there's at least 1 or 2 dedicated spaces for your show to load in and load out. We also have a decent amount of storage. We have quite a big loading dock. So generally, if you have any sort of big set piece or something that you want to keep there, you would just let me know. I tend to say yes to everything and handle it later. So get to me early. And then in terms of hanging out, so we're going to take a little field trip here. So we do have this rather big lobby in the front. So right now it has a bunch of streaming stuff in it, but people do hang out in here. And then this year, I finally have gotten my popcorn machine up. So we're gonna have free popcorn. So that'll be exciting. And then because we are on the border of Koreatown, we are right across the street from the best Korean barbecue. It smells like barbecue all the time outside and it's so good. And then there's a couple other restaurants coming in. There's a place called Organico that's about a block north. And then other fun places, there's like Dave's Hot Chicken that you can walk to and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's a pretty fun place to hang out. And of course, we're right near Family Arts as well. But yeah, did I answer everything? Just forget. Okay, good.
Apparently, this is my move today.
So we are right now, as we said, we've got one space that is outfitted for being the live stream space. If we do go hybrid, that's why we have the cameras hanging from the grid so that we can have a full audience. That particular space is 45 people. If we are able to then bring in also live audiences in other spaces, we've got the main stage, which is a 99 seat theater, and a huge stage, which also during the renovation, or I mean, during the COVID shutdown, we completely ripped out and rebuilt the stage. So the stage is not squeaky, it's entirely silent. And it's the weirdest thing to walk on that stage for me and not hear anything. We also put electrics into the stage, so you can plug in directly into the stage if you have a practical that you need to plug in. We do have storage in that space. The second stage is 80 seats, and it's a standard proscenium theater. And then we have the studio, which is 21 seats, so we can, in all of the spaces, we can put out extra seats. As far as if we are able to bring in audiences, we will have our audience helpers, our we call them gold shirts or red shirts, depending on what color our shirts are that year. But a number of Sacred Fools members who are around helping you find where you need to go, because we have all outdoor entrances. So there's like, go around the corner and 2 doors to your left and all of that kind of stuff. And they'll also help you find other theaters, if you come there and you see someone to say, I don't know where this particular show is, they will help you find that. As far as what's around, we actually, hopefully, again, we'll have the bar in the building. But there, beyond that, we also have so many different restaurants, and we had a Panda Express open up not too long ago. That's in the same. We have a Starbucks that's a block away, and there's a Panda Express that opened up in that same strip mall, where the I can't remember, it was anyhow. And we had Jesse Boy. We have Jesse Boy there. That's also incredibly good chicken and all kinds of stuff around to get food. And I think that's it. We're all, of course, really hoping for being allowed to have audiences so that we can have the big, huge, full experience.
I was just adding the taco truck, Heather Lynn. The thing I'm looking forward to the most this year, in a way. So now we're talking about all the specs, right? So our theaters are all 50 seats. And the only one that's really mobile as far as how much seating or where they are is the flight, because we have taken the regular theatrical seats out of that space. Now there are platforms, but it makes it great for streaming because of where we could put the cameras and that sort of thing. When we have audience, I'm saying when, we will be totally able to accommodate. Okay, what else? We have room for storage. We have you store your set pieces and your props with us because it's usually so busy. We don't want you to have to fight through crowds with any kind of big objects, and because of the stairs to the flight as well, we just find it safer to keep everything in the building, and it's there for you. So if you're running late, you don't have to worry. The next thing is we have a green room that is outside for the bottom 3 theaters. It is outdoors, really nice patio space with lots of greenery. And we will be having some sort of concessions this year just to keep it simple. We have a liquor store right next door. Jimmy offers everything from, sweat socks to 6-packs. That should be his byline now. Let's see what else. We do the seating for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. No.
Rockin', y'all. So we have one more question, and so let's see if we can just like punch it through. Let's go. If you're new to Fringe, you'll learn like the 2-word awards. So let's try to not 2 words, but maybe 2 sentences on this last run through. So guys, let's chat after festival. Blows my mind that we're even thinking after festival when we haven't even come to it yet, right? But it's important. What are your policies about strike, and how does closing the books work at your venue? And then any last thoughts before we wrap up this portion and move into audience Q&A? Please say that here. Monica, go ahead, darling.
Okay. What we do afterwards is we give you about a week to strike. Just because I know it's so rushed, it's nice to just kind of take it easy. So we give you a deadline on that. As far as the books go, you will have been paid up on everything by your first show. So as far as books, all it would be is your box office. And we do have you pick that up, and we go through all of it with you. Everything is documented. You do get 100%, of course, of your box office. That's it. It's pretty simple.
For us, at the end, because of the fact that 3 of our spaces don't have storage, you'll be struck by the time that when you leave for your last show. The main stage, for anyone who has storage in there, we can just schedule a time for you to be able to come in and get stuff. We're pretty flexible about that because the storage stays the storage. And as far as books, that's part of why we ask you to provide your own box office person. There is no closing of the books. We've already settled all of our stuff before Fringe has begun, and so we make sure that you have everything you need when you're in there, and we don't have anything that we have to make sure we work out with you. So that's all done.
Yeah, pretty much same. All the last rental payment needs to be paid before the start of tech. So that's all settled up. You don't have to worry about that. Same with your anyone that you're hiring. So your venue stage manager must be paid before the start of tech. You don't ever want to screw your stage manager out of being paid because then you have no lights. And then same with sometimes our house manager is cool with like day of if you want, but again, kind of talk to them about that. In terms of striking, generally shows will just strike that day because Fringe shows don't usually have an enormous amount of set. If you do have a larger set though that you have been storing here and you need to bring like a U-Haul or something later, you're welcome to keep it in the dock. You and I can set a specific date where you would come get it. Not far after your last show, but you and I can talk about that, and you're welcome to keep it here for a reasonable amount of time, like a week. But we'll figure that out.
Similar thing. Strike is usually only Stephanie Fury has a little storage. So usually your last show, everybody brings things out. I think over the years, I've had 1 or 2 people schedule something the week following. Also, yes, the books will be cleared. You will have paid everyone and took care of that prior to your closing night. We do want to mention, we were going to do this last year, and with changes, we're starting it this year. We're going to have a special promotion package that will be included in anyone who rents at our spaces. This will include a private workshop, a group workshop on writing your press release with Berta. We will send it out to our press list, 1 for each show. We will have weekly get-togethers with everyone. This year, we spend actually a lot of time streaming, and we have a show, Tilted Frame, that is touring online fringes right now. We just did Pittsburgh, we're doing Cincinnati, we're doing Minnesota. And so we've met a lot of people, we've learned a lot of things. And so we want to share that knowledge and knowledge from producing all these years. So we'll have Google group information, we'll have Facebook information, we'll have access to all of our social media. And again, flexibility and options, giving everyone a chance to get ahead of this. And if you're not at Asylum, you can still join our promotion package. So even if you're booked somewhere else, please check in and we'd love to talk to you about it. Does that cover it? All right. All right, thanks.
Okay, so as far as payment, we collect for the tech, for stage managers, streaming operators, rental, rehearsal. Everything will be taken care of before you come in for your first tech. We'll take care of paying the stage manager directly so that nobody has to chase anybody down or anything like that. So all that's taken care of. The strike, you go in and out with all your stuff after each performance, so there is no additional strike time. The books, I had mentioned that I handle all the box office. At the end of each performance, you will get all money that was collected that performance with the record. I do not want to hold on to anything. So that's all taken care of too, and that'll be done. And then encores, if they happen, we will we will participate. Encores, Matt should probably talk more about that, but we fully expect to do live and we fully expect to have encores. So that means going into September, you may have some more shows, and that's that. That's our plans.
Yeah, we offer some storage space, so you can store your set. And so then for strike, if you can't take it on your last performance, that's okay. We can be flexible. You can come back in a day or 2 or a week, whatever. That's fine. Of course, we'd love you to stick around and continue beyond the festival too. You will have paid on your contract prior to tech, as far as money going to the venue. As far as money coming back to you, if this is hybrid and if we sell tickets at the door, we would be able to, well, like Lauren, we do email you box office reports on a nightly basis. If there's any physical payment like cash, we give you that as well on a nightly basis. If there's anything outstanding at the end and you ran off to your closing night party and you're owed money, we can mail you a check or usually send you a digital payment. We take care of it right away.
I'm back in somewhat of a ditto spot. Hello. Yes, as at tech, you'll be paying for your package and your techs. So that should be taken care of prior to the end of the run. Um, and you'll be collecting all your box, I believe, if we change that, but you'd be paid out nightly. So that should be taken care of prior to your closing. As far as strike, we're really flexible. We have storage space, but again, as Lauren said, hopefully we'll be having encores. So I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it for strikes. So I think that's it. Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
Strikeout. Your payments will be done by the end of the festival. We usually end them mid-festival-ish. Strike 3 days afterwards. If you need more, just let me know. And then all box office goes to you. You get paid out nightly for your, if our box office person's running your in-person box office, you'll get that nightly. And then, yeah. And then you'll get your online ticket sales later on. Trying to think if I forgot to say anything about the spaces. Nope, that's it. Reach out to us. Check out our Fringe page for our one sheet with all of our rental information.
Awesome. Y'all, we did it. And only like 20 minutes behind schedule. And we still have months until the festival. So we have time to get on schedule and not have to worry about this. We're practicing. I'm going to bring my amazing coworker, Ellen, into the Zoom box here. Is it gonna magic? Yes.
Oh.
Y'all, she has been running the tech behind the scenes. And I mean, the way she just moved things and made it happen. Thank you, Ellen. Let's get those questions. I know we had a few that popped in. Ellen, you have been able to pay a
Yeah, could we have Lori unmute and then I'll pin you too? That way you could ask your question. And then just to get everybody in the Fringe like speed of things, when our participants ask questions, we'll typically be like, "Hi, my name is Ellen. My show is the Hollywood Fringe Festival, and here is my question," which is a great way for you to start marketing your Fringe show. So Lori, I'm going to pin you right now, and you can make that first one. If you want to make another, if anybody else wants to have a question, please throw it in the chat now, and I'll start to call you guys out. All right, go ahead, Lori.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for your generosity of your time, venue owners and fringers. My name is Lori. My show is called Sugar and Shit, an exploration into life's sugary sweetness and life's shittiness. My question to the venue people is, what do you guys have in terms of dress rehearsals with the director and for previews week, which is August 5th? I connected with a couple owners and they were like, we don't know if we have August 5th, August 4th, what's going on with that week in terms of your avail? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I think from a Fringe perspective, and venues, like, feel free to unmute if I'm wrong, but it just depends on the venue as far as availability for any of these days, right, folks?
We book.
Go ahead.
I can say we book the previews at the same time that we book the regular shows. It's your choice whether or not you want to do a preview, but I for one do recommend it. Just because it's the text can get a little tight, and you may not have had a full dress rehearsal with all the bells and whistles before your first show. So the preview sometimes it becomes that in a way, kind of gets you going and into the whole groove of getting in, setting up, getting out, so on and so forth. And it helps the venue, it helps us too, because it's like, okay, we're on, and then we see where we need to, get better if we need to.
Matthew.
We also have preview week, and we actually encourage it. That's when we also advise that press come and see your show, and it's a good way to get word out there, and also friends and family, so that you have a good audience. And sometimes we even suggest do it as a freebie, so that these people go out there and talk about your show, not only to friends and family, but in social media and other ways of getting the word out.
I would just add to that, normally people do one, sometimes they'll do more. And in general, and I don't want to necessarily speak for everyone, but we're waiting to find out what the protocols are to see how many hours are available between each show. Like right now, it's 2 hours. So that's going to create yeah, exactly. So that's going to create a really different schedule. So again, patience is going to be the big word this year. June 15th, hopefully, we're going to be able to go. And I think we're all going to madly then be like schedule.
Okay, that's helpful.
I
Jen?
will say one thing. Yeah, I will say one thing about specifically how the way we schedule at Studio Stage and how it's been a little on hold right now. So one of the things that we've always done at Studio Stage is that we create all of our schedules before we even start booking. And so what was happening when it was just normal is you would come take a tour and I would give you a couple schedules to look at, and it was the full schedule. It was your dress rehearsal, your preview, all of your performances, your tech, and you could see all of them. And so then you could actually reserve an entire schedule at the moment you booked, which some people found very helpful. Most people found very helpful because then it helps you plan with your cast. So as of this moment, the regulations are that we need to have 2 hours in between to cool off the space. Which, you know, those of us who have been in full restaurants that are open all day are a little frustrated by that. So we do think that may change come the 15th. We're not sure, so we're going to wait until that point. So in terms of scheduling for us, the previews are definitely included in your package, which we highly, highly recommend, as Matt was saying, just for your marketing purposes. We are just handing you the whole schedule yet, because if we can add more shows into those spaces, if we don't need those 2 hours, those schedules are going to open up widely. So you probably won't know the whole schedule until after the 15th, probably not the 16th, because give us a minute, right? But so we'll adjust as needed.
I just for the sake of time, because we're starting to hit a wall here where we need to kind of let some people off. I was wondering, does any venue have anything different, or is it just varies venue to venue? And we'll drop that contact list down there in the bottom as well. But I do know that all of our venues, and feel free to tell me if I'm wrong, do offer preview dates, and they will offer different types of scheduling. So I just wanted to shout out that I think nobody that is on the panel today won't offer a preview date. I would like to toss it over to Diana to be able to ask your question, Diana.
Hello, I'm Diana Elizabeth Jordan. I'm producing Happily Ever After, One Woman's Journey to Find a True Love. Yay for our festival people, I will be calling you. My question is, you guys are throwing out a bunch of live streaming terminology. Will there be a session we can talk with you guys to know what the heck you're talking about? Because a lot of these words you're using do not compute in my theater brain right now. So I appreciate that you are providing a live stream person, but will we also have an opportunity to talk to that person so we know what they're doing and what you're talking about? Because I know they're knowledgeable, I just don't know what they're knowledgeable about. So I was just wondering.
Heck yeah. That's my answer. Heck yeah.
Of course. All I need to know, because I love the word, but I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. So that's awesome.
Dude, me neither. That's why I'm married to Greg.
Yeah, we're all in the process of learning, and so it's very much a matter of making sure that we have answers, we share them with you. We encourage conversation. Because I too am learning a whole bunch of words. I'm like, I can spit all these out. Don't ask me questions about them because I don't know what they mean. But it is, yeah, we absolutely want to be able to have dialogue and let you know exactly what's happening and what's going on.
I was just going to say several of the venues do have a pre-tech before their techs where everybody comes in and talks to their stage managers. That's become kind of common. We're going to have another one for the streamer. So you're going to come in and have a talk with the group to ask all those questions.
Thank you, everyone, for your time. I so appreciate it.
I really quickly, Diana, that's a great question. And no, yeah, we're all in the exact same boat. Well, actually, no, thank goodness we aren't. There are other people to teach those of us that are in the boat that don't know, because I don't know it either. I want to quickly mention the participant packet, which if you've done Fringe before or have read up on what it's like to be a Fringe participant at all, you might have come across that phrase participant packet. That's going to drop so soon. Staff is in like our tech week of getting this almost 20-page document in place to kind of give you a guide to how to Fringe successfully and make all of this huge endeavor manageable and broken down in a step-by-step process on how to Fringe. And with that, I think I can actually answer two questions that popped up. One, there will be live stream like educational resources. And those are going to be helpful, even if this is how I learned half of what and don't get me wrong, I'm no expert, but I learned a lot of the terminology based on what we're going to provide to you participants. And it won't necessarily, like, even if you're not going to run your own live stream, you're going to be able to look that through and at least be able to know, okay, like I can have a conversation with the tech about it and get what I'm after, even if I can't necessarily perform the task. So hopefully that will help a lot of people get on the same page. And also there'll be information about unions. You will on the Fringe side of things have to, like Fringe is not going to have a contract with union as a whole or the unions as a whole. You will have to maneuver that based on your union status. But there will be information about like there's current agreements between SAG and SAG-AFTRA and Equity and the things that are kind of in this weird unknown space. So we're going to have information in our packet to help you along that journey. So hopefully that puts some fears at ease.
I just wanted to ask Kevin if you wanted to ask your question.
Hello, my name's Kevin, neighbors, he, him, and my show is Versatile Stories from Inside the Closet of a Half Black Gay Man. And I had a question. I've done some streaming already, and this time around I have like the show's done, so it's a lot easier to kind of let's go. And I have friends in the deaf and hard of hearing community, and I was wondering about ASL interpretation and live closed captioning. Is that possible? How would that work as far as like framing and stuff? Yeah, I don't know.
I'm actually working on a ASL project right now from a Fringe show from 2 years ago that he is releasing as with closed caption. And one thing that's come up is YouTube has just started to offer closed captioning service within their platform. So one of the things that Asylum is, if you don't have your own YouTube channel or that, you can use ours, and we can talk more about setting that up so that you can offer that. Also, through the context of this show, I could connect you with some ASL translators. You'd have to pay for them extra, but it could be a way to have real-time professional signing during that.
Yeah, we had a show during the Fringe 2 years ago, and it was really well done.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We also, one of the things we request is that you bring a script in so that is available to anyone who walks in and says, we need hearing assistance. We also provide hearing boost things. If anyone's in a show and an audience member comes in and says, I need hearing assistance, we've got the headphones that they can put on so that everything is much louder for them. As far as an ASL interpreter, one of the reasons we have the movable camera is if you have an ASL interpreter, we can put the ASL interpreter in front of that camera and have them be a sub panel on the screen so that you're seeing yours plus the ASL interpreter is right there all of the time. So those are the things that we've worked to try and be able to make sure that everyone can access the shows.
Thank you.
And then from the Fringe side of things, we will have contacts in our participant packet, which will be coming out for live interpretation as well. And we also will be putting together an audience packet about how to make your show fully, or how to have an accessible Fringe, and in the participant packet, how to make your show accessible. So resources, contacts, what to do for free, what you might need to pay for, and kind of breaking that down. And we're taking steps towards that. Does any other venue want to answer this question? Please feel free to unmute. If not, I'm going to go on to Matt Kamimura. Matt, let's get your question in here. Let me add a spotlight. There you go.
What's up, everybody? Less of a question and more of just kind of touching bases with some of the things that I've heard. Going to what Heather Lynn said, yeah, it's definitely easy to put a picture into your video and have a second camera point at it. Talking to all the stuff about doing multicam streaming. Here's everything that I'm looking at. You can switch between cameras. You can load up graphics, right? See everyone's favorite Fringe, Fringe things. You can see some more our awesome venues, right? So kind of anything you want to do, some studio stage, some Broadwater, right? Whatever you want to toss into your Fringe show. It's real easy to do. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them my way. If you don't know, because a lot of us don't know. I had to figure it out myself, so I'll toss my email out into the chat and feel free to say hello.
Just to add on to that, as I was talking about earlier, we have people that we can recommend for live streaming packages. Matt is definitely one of those people, so just to throw that in.
Lori, I see that you have another question, and then Josh, if you want to answer in the chat, do you have a question still that you want answered? But Lori, do you want to ask right now?
Yes, I have an educational component to my show, which was created in the Artist's Way and the Imaginative Storm. And I noticed we get like a free 1 hour educational component. Can we call that the 1 hour Q&A for my show so that we don't have to wait 2 hours for later, since it is organically part of the show?
Sorry, do you mind asking that question again? Because
no, I'll ask it again. So my work has been created in a workshop with James Nave. He teaches, he's taught for 25 years the Artist's Way with Julia Cameron. And what I'm going to give my audience is a free 1 hour or 50-minute after we do our performance. I'm going to give them an experience of writing with a prompt so they can learn to be like maybe writers one day. And so what I'm wondering is, can we organically just have Lenny and I, the performers, with James Nave, organically do that all in one show rather than have to wait 2 hours? Because it's not really a separate show. It's just an educational, like behind the scenes with Lori and Lenny.
That's a great question. So Lori, with that, it's going to work differently, like Fringe versus venues. And please, venues, step in where it pertains to you more so. You're going to be booking space with your venue, right? So if you book that time, like if you book the 3 hour slot or the hour, however much it'll take to do both the
2 hours.
Q&A, yeah. So if you book a 2 hour slot with the venue, I don't foresee that being a problem. It would depend on your contract with your venue. It would just be that amount of time. With Fringe, it would just be 2 separate projects, or there's a lot of ways to do that. But it would just mean making sure you have the venue space to continue on after your show.
Okay, that's a great answer. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I was just gonna add, just talk to every venue, and just reach out to them. They're gonna talk you through all their options.
Okay.
And
Okay,
by
great.
June 15th, it may not even matter.
Exactly. They may be lifted. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Peace out, guys.
Joyce, would you want to ask your question? I'll add a spotlight here.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for this. It's very informative. I'm learning a lot. My show, it's called The Dean's Office. It's about how institutionalized racist policies in education affect students, teachers, parents, administrators, and anybody else who has to execute these policies. My question is about after the show. I would like to have a talk back, and I'm not sure like how that's built into the 1 hour, or I guess it would be for me 60 minutes of time to get the show in and out. But I guess a talk back maybe for a half an hour. expect to happen, or do you?
Oh, I think I want to make sure I get the whole question because I think Joyce started breaking up. Am I?
Oh, no problem.
Oh, go ahead, Jen.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, Joyce. Let me just clarify. Oh, I think she's breaking up.
I'm gonna.
Okay, I'm just clarifying your question. So you were asking how it works if you have a talk back that's about 30 minutes past your show. I mean, I can't speak for every venue, but for us at least, we build both 60-minute and 90-minute show slots. So if you were going to do a talk back after your 60-minute show, you would just get a 90-minute show slot. So then that would cover you for your whole time. You would pay for that extra time, but you would be then welcome to use it. And so then you'd have plenty of time to do your talk back as well.
Joyce, feel free to mention in the chat. I know you're having some technical difficulties. If that didn't answer your question or if there's anything else coming up for you. Is there anyone that wants to throw in the chat any last minute questions? I saw Kevin, I think your question got answered, but feel free to let us know in the chat if you want to ask anything else. I'm going to give it about a 60-second song in my head.
And while Ellen's singing the song in her head, what a great time to remind you that questions will come up after this. I am someone who, you sit and listen to all the information and then you digest it by dinner time and you're like, oh man, like support at hollywoodfringe.org, just across the board is going to be your pal. They'll get you in touch with the right people to get you the right answers.
And Lori, as far as hours that venues will see, it'll just really depend on the venue. So I think that reaching out to those venues that you're really interested in, a lot of our questions are so specific to venues. And I think that like as across the board, anything that comes up for you, feel free to ask your venues that you're interested in. Start to narrow that down based on what your show requires. Because it's going to be different for every show. Some shows might have, you know what, that curved cyc wall is totally my jam and I need that. So you'll start to think about that. Or you might be saying like, wow, with 3 cameras set up and that movable camera and people don't trip over it, that's my jam. And you'll start to kind of exactly be able to figure out who you need to narrow your conversations down to. If you want total control over your live stream, that'll be like something that'll make that decision for you. If you want the venue to take care of it and you want to get there and you don't have to touch it, that's going to be an option too. So all of our venues will really be able to accommodate that. And to start looking on our website, hollywoodfringe.org/venues, contacting those that sound like they fit within your vibe, and then taking a tour from there or a virtual tour from there would, I think, be the way to go. Do we want to go with some closing announcements, Lois?
I think so, because now all I want is toast with jam, because Ellen keeps talking about people's jams. All right, y'all, closing announcements. Remember, we have office hours. There's my announcements. Office hours Wednesday, June 2nd, 7 to 9 p.m. We are so excited to start sharing in Fringe community with you. So please join us. The Fringe Scholarship Mentor apps are due at 11:59 p.m. tonight. So if you've done Fringe before and you want to share your experience, sign up to be a mentor. We'd love to have you. We could totally reach our goal of 10 artists stipends this year of $725 each. If everyone participates in our artist fund, share. It doesn't have to be, we all know that everyone's had a tough year. That's the whole point of this artist fund. But share, we have it up on our socials. We'll be sharing it in newsletters. I think just the more people we reach, the more possibility we have to fund a whole lot of amazing shows. Ellen, you're going to have a lot more to add to this. So I'm going to throw it to you.
All right, y'all. If we could get every single person who participates in Fringe to get one friend to send us the cost of a cup of coffee, we could double the amount that we would need and be able to have 20 shows funded. So we're not asking for much, but we are asking that you share. $5 to our Fringe Fund actually goes a long way. So share that, ask your friends, tell people about the Fringe, and all of this money is going to be coming right back to you. We absolutely can't do this without you. So right in there, hollywoodfringe.org/donate over our next 2 weeks of our fundraising period is going to be such an important link. And we ask that you share that. And if you have had one of those years where COVID hasn't impacted you as much, maybe consider donating. And we would really appreciate that. If you have, then consider applying. I am going to close it off. I think we're good. Is there anything else, Lois?
Thanks so much for being here, y'all.
Thanks to all of our venues. Thanks to all our participants. We're going to go off the live stream.